I think a lot, and I think way too much to the point as when I need to have a conversation with someone, I think that conversation over in my head, role-playing the conversation, and in my mind I'm letting them say what I want them to say, and that's why I have so much anxiety, because when I actually talk to them, no one ever says what you want them to say, what you expect them to say, and that's why everything seems to go wrong when I have these conversations with people. I want life to be like a movie or a show where everything's written, and it'll end up okay or end up in a certain way that'll like relieve you in some way, but that's not how it works. I keep going over these conversations and I think about what I was gonna say when I started this video. I thought about it last week and it goes over in my mind again, and I acknowledge that I'm thinking about it. So, and I do that all the time. I think about how I'm gonna have a conversation, and then I acknowledge like these fourth wall breaks that keep breaking, and I think about how I'm gonna have these conversations just because that's the way my mind works. I see my thought process as a form of like, it's structure and disorganization, like structured disorganization basically. And I sort of like that. I like that structured disorganization, but problems happen when I don't try hard enough to think, or I try too hard to think. It's like if I try too hard, the structure gets organized, and if I don't try hard enough, then the disorganization loses its structure. And that's how my mind works, and I can't explain, and it's a byproduct of all the shit I've gone through. It's a byproduct of my family, it's a byproduct of my friends, and just the way I think. I'm not sure if it's the depression, I'm not sure if it's the anxiety, I'm not sure what it is. That's me. And because I think this way, every situation that I go through is a problem for me, and I can't cope a lot of the times because I just think too much. I think about what I'm gonna say, what they're gonna say, and what I'm gonna respond to that when they say that. But when I think of the first thing I'm gonna say and how they're gonna respond to that, if they don't respond the way I respond, the way I thought they were gonna respond, then the whole conversation falls apart, and I get anxious and I don't know what to say, because no one ever says what you expect them to say. And when these conversations, they fall apart and I'm anxious, then when people start saying stuff you don't expect them to say, then you're not ready for it, because I try to prepare myself for every conversation, and when you're not ready for it, you start to say things that you don't mean, or like in different contexts, or people interpret stuff differently because you don't have time to think over the words. And I'm looking for that person that thinks the same way as me. Like when I think of the conversation I have with them, and it's usually when I do these, role plays in my head, it's usually an important conversation, something that has to do with feelings or something like that. And when I think about these conversations and I expect them to say, I'm looking for that person to say what I expect them to say, but I don't think I'll ever find that person, because I feel like my mind is too lost. I'm not sure if this is the way I'll think forever, or if it's something I need to work out and I need to fix the way I think. And I'm making this video on how my thought process works, because I don't want to be that person who keeps everything to themselves, and I just think my thought process is so weird that I thought I'd share it, and I don't want to keep it from anyone that I have depression or anxiety, because that's the whole thing, is getting rid of the stigma of oh yeah, we shouldn't talk about this. We should talk about it. It should be open. If I know it will affect our relationship, I will tell people early on that I have depression and anxiety, because I want them to know. It's not something I'm embarrassed about. It's not something I don't want anyone to know. It's something, it's part of me. It's an everyday struggle, but I can push through it. And I hope that this video, for the people that I do know and are seeing this and know me, I hope it gives some clarity if I ever had any problems with you, or ever any conversations where you don't know what's going on, or you don't know what I'm on about, or something like that. I hope this brings clarification for anyone who doesn't know who I am. I hope this, if you can relate, that's great. If, maybe you learned something, I don't know. I'm just making this one video for now. I'm not sure if I'll make more, or try to make something of this, but for now it's just this one video so I can explain myself. And yeah, that's it. That's all, folks. See you later.